What's good, everybody? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys with a quick video of the recap of the NFL draft. Sorry, just gotta close my door really quick. All right, so the 2019 draft is now gone by, and we used 11 picks because at the end, while I was driving home, I guess we traded a 2026 round pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars to get a pick in the seventh round. Too, and I'll discuss who we picked in that seventh round a little later. But now it's time to recap all 11 of our picks, because we originally had 4, and then we traded down and turned it into 11 picks, surprisingly. So the Seahawks sit after making 7 trades, 6 during the draft, plus sending Frank Clark to Kansas City for picks on Tuesdays. The Seahawks went from 4 picks entering the week to 11 players selected. And this is from 710 ESPN link right here that I got on my phone right here. Like we said, a metaphorical whirlwind. Here's a quick look at every pick the Seahawks made between Thursday's first round and the final 4 rounds on Saturday, plus links to full stories on each new Seattle player. First round, we traded down from 21, obviously, with the Green Bay Packers and got 2 fourth-round picks from the Packers. And surprisingly enough, we took a defensive end to try to fill the void of Frank Clark, which is in the form of L.J. Collier, defensive end from Texas Christian University with the 29th overall pick. And this is what John Schneider said about him and what some of the ESPN college football analysts said on here for us from 710 ESPN Seattle. So John Schneider said, LJ fits us. He's heavy-handed, tough, chip on his shoulder guy. And Brock Hewitt said power and versatility. And then Mike Salk said Collier is a big dude, 6'2", 6'2", 283 pounds, plays with power, plays with anger, and that's what everybody seemed to be excited about. Now, not going to know for sure what we're going to get from him, though, but one of the things that they were saying was Collier's NFL comparison was Michael Bennett. And I remember those years when we had Michael Bennett in his prime with the Seahawks, too, and now obviously Bennett's with the New England Patriots, and who knows what he's going to do over there, but nobody knows what anybody's going to do until we get that eye test in the preseason. So I'm anxious to see what Collier can bring. Hopefully he can bring, if like they said, he plays with anger and plays with power and a chip on his shoulder, then who knows? Hopefully maybe he can shine, but I'll wait till August to judge on that one too. Up next, we got, in the second round, we took a hard-hitting safety, which on one play, what I really like, on one of his highlights, he blasted through an offensive lineman and and also like hit him really hard, and then was able to tackle the running back for a tackle for lost yards, and that's safety Marquise Blair of Utah. And for the first time since 2009, the Seahawks played a season without Cam Chancellor in the enforcer role at strong safety in 2018. Well, here's the new enforcer. The 6'2", 195-pound Blair is like Chancellor, was a hard hitter at the safety spot. In 2018, Blair recorded 106 tackles, 4 passes defended, and 2 interceptions for the Utes. So hopefully now we can work on him a bit more. Let's see I want to see how he can adjust to the NFL, and it's going to be a lot tougher playing with playing with those NFL guys, because like NFL is always way different from college. But can he translate his hard hitting style from college to the NFL, and hopefully he can add on to his interceptions and hopefully deliver some hard hits that can rock the entire stadium. Because I remember back in the day of the Legion of Boom when Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas back in the days of the LLB would just be popping and blasting everybody, and it would get the whole stadium going crazy. So hopefully we can bring that back. And then at the end, we traded up with the New England Patriots, and this was the one I did not think we were going to land him, and he's one of the top receivers in this draft too. And that is Ole Miss wide receiver DK Metcalf. I was pumped about him, possibly from what people are saying, that we got a steal in DK Metcalf. Even NFL Network analysts are saying it too, and a bunch of NFL analysts everyone was surprised that Seattle went out to get him. And Metcalf is a 6'3", 228-pound frame. His comparison was to Demarcus Thomas, but they said some people were saying that DK Metcalf had kind of a Randy Moss flash of the big guy and being a big receiver and having speed to boot with it too. And I really liked his arm width too, from what I saw in the highlights too, especially that first play touchdown he had against Alabama. In that, from what I saw in the highlights too, where he just stretched out and caught it and just dusted them for the touchdown. So Metcalf was one of the biggest stories at the NFL Combine because he ran a 4.33 in his 40-yard dash too, the fastest any player weighing 225 pounds or more. He also walked into his meeting with the Seahawks at the Combine shirtless, and head coach Pete Carroll followed suit, which was pretty hilarious. I just looked at that video. Pretty hilarious that Pete Carroll freaking took his shirt off with freaking Metcalf in the meeting at the Combine. And then finally in the third round, we traded up to get linebacker Cody Barton from Utah. Seahawks apparently like what the Utes are doing on defense. Makes sense considering Utah kept the Huskies offense completely out of the end zone in the 2018 Pac-12 championship, as Barton was the second Utes player chosen in Seattle's draft class out of its first 4 picks. Barton can play all 3 linebacker spots and is expected to be an asset on special teams. That versatility is really important to us, and we know he's an incredibly gifted special teams player as well. Hopefully that's the case if what they say about him is true. And plus, possibly he would possibly be a replacement to KJ Wright for when KJ's time in Seattle is done, or possibly in the NFL is done, you know? So let's see what Cody Barton can bring to the table, you know? Just because we made all these picks doesn't mean every pick that we get is gonna hang around, because, you know, there are those that end up either on practice squad or, you know, being completely waived altogether, you know? But this is just a draft class, you know, so this is how it's got to go. And then finally, I was standing behind Cliff Averill when we made this pick. Beginning of the 4th round, obviously the Arizona Cardinals took Akeem Butler in the beginning of the draft. But then when it was our turn to pick, we selected 6'2" receiver Gary Jennings from West Virginia, and this was a surprising move, especially with Baldwin's career now up in the air. Could this possibly be Baldwin's replacement? And what I also like about Gary Jennings, from what I saw when looking him up, that he has the highest completion percentage on 50-50 balls. Like, he's won most of his 50-50 balls when either he with 50-50, like either he catches it or not, or with a defender on it, or, you know, either caught, intercepted, or forced incomplete. And Gary Jennings had the highest completion with 50-50 balls. Jennings is similar to Baldwin in that he may not be especially impressive at any one skill set, but is notably efficient in the passing game. He caught 13 touchdowns on 54 receptions as a senior, totaling 917 yards to earn all Big 12 honors, to earn an all Big 12 honorable mention. Also, he has a detailed history with Russell Wilson, which can only be a good thing. So that's a little something. And then after that, we decided to take Phil Haynes, offensive guard out of Wake Forest. I mean, and then this is what it says in here on the ESPN thing. What's not to like about an offensive lineman with experience playing both guard and tackle that comes from Wake Forest? Line nicknamed the Beef Boys. Correct. There is nothing not to like about it. The Seahawks will have a few options in how they can use 6'4", 322-pound Haynes, who, like current Seahawks O-lineman George Fant, has a past as a basketball player. So kind of has the same past like George Fant. I mean, I won't go too far ahead on Phil Haynes. I'll just wait for the eye test to see what he's got, because one other person was saying to watch a highlight from him and to watch something from him, because I think there was something bad. There was a negative from when he was playing against Boston College in a game last year. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. You know, Seahawks made the pick, so just gotta wait and see how Solari can work with him. And then after that, we drafted a defensive back out of Oregon, Ugo Amadi. By the sounds of it, Amadi will come into the Seahawks system in a role very similar to what Deshaun Shedd used to serve in Seattle. They said they want me to do everything: nickel corner, safety, special teams, everything Swiss Army knife, Amadi said in a conference call with the media. So there's that. So we draft Ugo Amadi out of Oregon, which, of course, shout out to my buddy Drew Crowley. He's a big Oregon Ducks fan. So So hopefully this works out. This works out for us. All right, and then in the 5th round, this one was a surprise that he even dropped. I cannot believe, and I was talking to my buddy Adam earlier about it, and he was pumped when I told him the news that we were able to get this dude out of Washington. And the guy we got in the 5th round, surprisingly, Ben Burr-Kirven, we got the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year from Washington, Ben Burr-Kirven. He was the nation's leading tackler in 2018, crossing the lake to join the Seahawks. Burr-Kirven, the Pac-12 Pat Tillman Defensive Player of the Year award winner as a senior, is a high motor guy who should give Seattle depth at the linebacker and make an impact on special teams. If he was, and from the looks of it on his highlights, that dude, my buddy Adam told me, Ben Burr-Kirven can fly all over the place. Like, he flies all over the field, and hopefully, I would love to see him be a big-time factor on our defense. I mean, this is huge that BBK fell to us in the 5th round, and I did not think we were going to take a shot at him, but hopefully I was pumped about this one. I hope he freaking can thrive with the Seahawks too. So, Ben Burr-Kirven, welcome to the Seahawks. Coming across Lake Washington to come play with us, or across the lake. Lake Union, I should say, because Lake Washington's right by Bellevue. Damn it, I'm kind of tripping up, so my bad. So many picks today. I just want to get this done with, before I add it in. Then 6th round, I think we were trying to replace Mike Davis with this one, and we picked Travis Homer out of Miami with the 204th overall pick. Homer joins the backfield mixed in Seattle, where he could challenge C.J. Prosise for a role on the active roster as a pass-catching back. A starter in his final 2 years at Miami, Homer averaged 6 yards per carry in 2018 and finished the season with a combined 1,171 yards and 8 touchdowns. So I'll just wait and see on him, but I don't get why we drafted another running back. I mean, because we also still got J.D. McKissick in our running back core too, and I bet you we'll probably cut C.J. Prosise sometime soon. And then in the 6th round, and this was funny because the guy, as you saw in my video before I left, called Demarcus Christmas, who we drafted out of Florida State with 209th overall. He called him Demarcus Merry Christmas. It was pretty hilarious when he did the video. The Seahawks seemingly finished their draft. Of course, they had another trick up their sleeve with the same emphasis they started with, adding size to its defensive line following the trade of Frank Clark. 6'3", 293-pound, Christmas was 3rd team All-ACC as a redshirt senior in 2018. So, pretty big fella. Hopefully, like I said, wait for the eye test, see how he pans out. And then finally, we traded up with the Jaguars and gave the Jaguars a 6th round pick in next year's draft. And we selected John Ursua, a third receiver, John Ursua, wide receiver from Hawaii. And just when it seemed like a bow was on the draft for the Seahawks, obviously, like I mentioned, just traded the pick to Jacksonville. 5'10", 175-pound Ursua had 1,343 yards and 16 touchdowns on 89 receptions as a junior in 2018, earning first-team All-Mountain West honors. That's not bad. That's not pretty bad. So, would he be playing in the slot if Doug Baldwin does indeed retire? Just a thought, but giving you all the best I can on this. I'm a little worn out, tired, was up in Seattle for hours, woke up at like 6 in the morning to try to get up there early to get a good spot so I could, be on TV so for the picks. So if y'all saw me on TV, let me in the past 2 videos that I added, let me know. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. What you guys think of the Seahawks draft class? Did we knock it out of? I felt like we knocked it out of the park in this draft class, especially considering we only had 4 picks and then traded down and added more, and we're able to land a couple of big time names to our team, and hopefully they'll pan out. And getting younger, got a couple new targets for Russell Wilson, and I mean hopefully we hope. And now basically I'm anxious to see who we decide to take a chance on undrafted, and maybe hopefully we can get a couple other needs that we hadn't really filled out, and hopefully get those needs undrafted, especially on, hopefully, because I know we drafted one guard on offensive line. Maybe we may try out a couple other guys undrafted, even at the other needs of position, like, a couple other receivers or tight end. I don't think we really need tight end, or couple more, whatever we need to fix. So anyway, I'm tired. Just want to get some rest. Watch NFL Total Access now that the draft's over. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. And now the draft's over, see if anything else happens, like any free agency signings during the rest of the way. And I'll keep y'all posted and try my best to keep up with y'all as best as I can with anything going on in the NFL. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting the channel throughout the time I've been doing the YouTube, and can't wait to get into this season. So until then, if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous, and as always, go Seahawks.